So welcome, everyone. I'm really excited to kick off the first talk here at pgDay Paris. Being back in Paris is very special for me. I was living here 15 years ago, and I was doing my student exchange at Sciences Po, down at Saint-Germain-des-Prés. And now I'm back in the Postgres community, so I'm really excited today. Today, I want to talk to you about community, why it's at the heart of Postgres, why it's vital to sustain it, and how you can organize a Postgres meetup that engages, grows, and strengthens your local community. So just like tuning a database to optimize performance, building and sustaining a community requires attention to the right parameters. So when you host Postgres events, you're not just creating a gathering, you're fine-tuning the connections, engagements, and the growth within your local ecosystem. So today, let's dive into how, with the right adjustments, your event can perform at their best. How you can bring people together and ensure lasting impact. And we can fine-tune these community parameters for optimal results. Here's a quick agenda of what we'll cover today. I'll start a bit sharing about myself and my company, dbtune, followed by why community is so important for Postgres. I'll also share how we built the Malmö PostgreSQL User Group, where I'm an organizer, and then go into planning, logistics, and how you can measure success. We'll also create post-event strategies to keep the momentum going. And finally, I want to leave you with some actionable takeaways to help you organize impactful Postgres meetups. And then after that, I would like to give you 10 minutes for your Q&A session. So here's a little bit about me. I'm Ellie. I'm originally from Singapore, and right now I live in Malmö, Sweden. My journey is a combination of technology, communications, entrepreneurship, and community building. So as I shared earlier, I came to Paris in 2010 for a student exchange at Sciences Po during my bachelor studies in Singapore. I spent a decade working in Singapore. My first job was at ZDNet. It was an enterprise technology publication, and that was how I was first exposed to the world of technology and everything that goes on behind there, which was really exciting for me. I learned a lot. And later on, my career evolved into public relations, marketing and communications for technology companies. Over the years, I became really interested in startups. And in 2021, during COVID, I decided I wanted to do my master's. So I was lucky. I got a scholarship to study my master's in entrepreneurship and innovation at Lund University. And I packed my bags, and I moved to Sweden. So as an immigrant living in Europe and Sweden, I faced the challenge of forming my own community from scratch. And the experience taught me the importance of creating meaningful connections and fostering a sense of belonging, especially in the new environment. I also started working for Lund University's communications and alumni relations, and that's where I learned more about community building. And in 2022, I joined dbtune. That's where I started working in marketing. This was also the year I became more deeply involved with Postgres and its vibrant community. Over the last year and a half, I had the privilege of contributing to various Postgres events and activities, sponsoring events, running booths, and of course being a part of Malmö PostgreSQL User Group, where I took on the role as an event organizer. So these experiences have given me a deeper appreciation for the power of community. And it's been really rewarding to see how collaboration drives innovation in the Postgres space. And here's a quick introduction of my company, dbtune. So we are an AI-powered optimizer, and we tune Postgres database configurations for top performance. So our technology is adaptive, regardless of workload, machine size, and environment, whether it's in the cloud or on-prem. We specialize in Postgres performance, and we help companies optimize, scale, and reduce costs, and get the most out of their databases. We just launched V2 of our product, which was a really exciting moment for us. And in V2, we have continuous monitoring, self-hosted deployment, and we can track your configuration history. We have an always-on agent, and more. dbtune is one of the top 20 sponsors of Postgres conferences. And we are also deeply involved with the Postgres community, where we participate as speakers, we share insights, and we also support user groups, such as the one I'm part of. We call it M-PUG. And if you'd like to learn more about us, you can scan the QR code here and visit our website. Right, that's the introduction about me and my company. So let's get into the presentation right now. So let's talk about what a community is and how it's formed. At its core, a community is a group of people who come together to share common interests, values, or goals. So communities have existed for centuries, starting with early tribes that shared resources to survive. Yeah, I'm thinking like cavemen and like really people, the really early versions of human beings. Then we started to evolve to agricultural societies, and then cities, and now digital spaces. So they have always been vital to human culture, and they help people to connect, they share knowledge and support each other. So communities are formed when people with shared interests begin to interact together, whether it's in person, like how we are right now, or even online. And this helps them to establish a sense of trust and support. And over time, the connections grew into more structured groups with events, resources, a collective mission. And this is how we see modern communities, especially in technology and open source spaces, such as Postgres. Before we move forward, I wanted to get a sense of the room. How many of you are part of an online or an open source community, whether it's Postgres or another group? Can I have a raise of hands? Well, that's quite a lot of you. So communities like these are very powerful because they bring people together to learn and collaborate and share knowledge. And for those of you who raise your hands, what makes these communities valuable to you? Is it the networking, the mentorship, or the ability to stay updated on new developments? Does anybody want to share?
All of the above.
Yeah. Any other responses? Well, oh, sorry, did someone want to say something?
Sense of community, that a sense that you're making a sensible decision, other people agree with you that this is a sensible choice.
Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree with that. And that's what I'm going to cover in my latest.
Yeah, a sense of community. There's validation that you are making a sensible choice in the technology you're using and continued learning about it. But is that knowing that there are other people using the same thing for the good purposes?
Somebody, I think he wanted to. He wanted to answer as well.
Yeah, so in the same sense of community, when you say sharing knowledge, for instance, is also actually, am I alone with what I am doing, or somebody else is having the same problem or taking the same decisions? So it's kind of like searching who else is doing the same. That's why the feeling of community comes, I would say, more like evident there. It's like, oh, you're doing the same. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, I agree. I'm not a technical person, but I also use technology for my related stuff for my work. And sometimes I also join communities and ask them questions because sometimes I don't know how to answer them. And yeah, that's why the support is important, the sense of belonging. I hear all of you, and I'll be covering this in my later slides. So let's take a look at why community is essential and also Postgres and what makes it thrive. So great ideas don't happen in isolation. They emerge when people come together and share knowledge and solve problems. So this is a book taken from James Surowiecki. It's called The Wisdom of Crowd. It shows that groups make better decisions and they innovate better than individuals, especially when they bring diverse perspectives. So if you look at this visual, it represents the evolution of decision making from an individual expert to a diverse group. So at the core, we have a single expert. So, and in this, their knowledge is valuable, but they might be limited by personal bias or a more narrow view. So even though this single expert might bring depth, their perspective is not able to drive innovation. The next circle, you see the small group of experts. So this group has more knowledge, but they are still constrained by groupthink and limited viewpoints. So a small group of experts could be like, I don't know, 5 people with the same, who are like subject matter experts in their fields. And because of this, it can limit creative breakthrough. So the magic happens in the outer circle, called the crowd. Over here, we tap a diverse range of ideas, experiences, and perspectives. And in a technology group like Postgres, collaboration across the broad spectrum leads to better problem solving, more innovative solutions, and more accurate decision making. And the arrow on the right, it shows the impact as we move outward. We see increased accuracy and enhanced innovation. That's why collaboration is so vital for technology communities such as Postgres. And by drawing on the collective intelligence of the crowd, we can fuel breakthrough and drive the future of technology. So we have talked about how collaboration is at the heart of innovation, and nowhere is this more evident than in the evolution of software development. So historically, many software were developed in closed source environments where companies tightly controlled the code. And this limits who can contribute, how quickly progress can be made. Innovation is confined to a few voices, and this slowed down development and kept software isolated from the wider community. But with the proliferation of open source software, everything has changed. Open source unlocks the ability for anyone, anywhere, to contribute to a software, and this increases the pace of innovation. Instead of a few isolated contributors, the global community of developers, just like a diverse crowd, can now collaborate to create better solutions faster. So Postgres is a prime example of this shift. If it was closed source, it would have been constrained by the same limitations. But because it is open source, the project has flourished thanks to the input of thousands of contributors around the world, all working to push it forward. And Postgres is not a database. It is a global, thriving community. And at the heart of this community are 3 values: collaboration, transparency, and shared learning. It started with a small group of developers and database enthusiasts working together to improve open source database. And over time, this grew into a worldwide technology with contributors from all backgrounds: developers, database administrators, users, and advocates coming together to push Postgres forward. But why does this matter? Because the strength of Postgres is not the technology, it's from its people and all the ideas that we bring to it. And a strong, engaged community is what drives innovation forward, improves the database, and ensures Postgres continues to evolve for the future. So this is why Postgres is unique. And I hope we never forget that it is not just a software, but it's a movement powered by collaboration. So let's look at some Postgres user groups around the world. But what's a Postgres user group? Or what we normally call a PUG, P-U-G. It's a community of enthusiasts who come together to share knowledge, discuss best practices, and collaborate on various projects. So these groups are essential for fostering learning, networking, innovation within the Postgres ecosystem. Today, there are 197 user groups worldwide with over 97,000 members, and these are taken from Meetup. These groups include those that are recognized and not recognized. And in addition, there are 67 officially recognized Postgres groups, and these are important to maintain a strong global community. And the numbers demonstrate the broad reach and influence of Postgres user groups in supporting the database. This is a map which I found really useful. I took it from Claire Giordano's presentation, which she presented at PGConf EU in Athens last year. It shows where Postgres user groups are meeting all over the world. So as you can see, there are many groups in the US and Europe alone. And this highlights the global reach of the community. And in the next slide, we can see a breakdown of the geography of official Postgres groups. So some of the most active Postgres communities are from these countries: the United States, Germany, France, Spain, and Sweden, where local groups regularly organize meetups, talks, and workshops. And these user groups play a crucial role in knowledge sharing, networking, and growing the Postgres ecosystem. So whether you're looking to learn, contribute, or connect with like-minded professionals, there's likely a Postgres group near you, or the opportunity to start one. Here's what makes Postgres community so special. And I'm sure you guys already know this. It's not about the database. The people here, we are passionate, welcoming, and diverse. We are all around the world. We come together to share, learn, and grow. So this was taken from Claire Giordano's Talking Postgres podcast, where they interviewed Daniel Gustafsson. He talked about how his experience at the conference highlight how welcoming the community is. Many of us arrive as strangers, and me too, I also arrive as a stranger, and we leave feeling like we are part of a supportive network where we can talk about our questions and understand whether other people are facing the same thing as us and more. And this is from another blog by Brian Booth. He observed in his blog, he observed that the Postgres community continues to expand globally. It offers many opportunities to build upon its strong foundation. And what does it take to be recognized as an official Postgres user group? So first, your group needs to be officially listed on the Postgres website. And this makes it easier for new members to find you. And recognition comes from the Postgres Global Development Group, and this adds credibility and connects you to the broader Postgres ecosystem. Beyond visibility, recognition can give your group access to resources, potential sponsorships, and the ability to collaborate with other established user groups. Before submitting for recognition, it's important to follow a couple of guidelines. So first, your group needs to be focused on Postgres, not a general database group or a technology group. It cannot be random. It needs to be Postgres-related topics. It also needs to be public and inclusive, which means there's no NDA, no restricted access. Then you need to make it a safe space, and this is part of the code of conduct that Postgres from Postgres. It basically talks about promoting respect and diversity, and you can read more about it on the website, or in the QR code here. And staying active is also key. Your group needs to host one event every 2 years to maintain recognition. And finally, if your group receives sponsorships, you need to be transparent about them. And if you want your Postgres user group to be officially recognized, here's how you do it in 3 steps. So first, make sure it follows the user group guidelines, as I shared earlier. The next, you have to host one event. Take some pictures and videos as proof that you already have the event. And this will show that how your group is contributing to the Postgres community. And finally, once these steps are completed, you submit your group details to this to this email address for approval, usergroup@postgres.org. So, with these principles in mind, we formed the Malmö Postgres User Group, or M-PUG, last year. And you can scan the QR code here to join our user group. We'll be happy to have you. We were formed in November last year, and in a span of 4 months, we now have more than 90 people in the group, which is a really encouraging sign for us. Malmö is the 3rd biggest city in Sweden, behind Gothenburg and Stockholm. We saw the opportunity to develop a Postgres user group here, as there was one in Stockholm already, and we also saw several other technology user groups here, so we thought, why not have a Postgres one? So the first step was we had to find fellow organizers, and we were lucky to have myself, my CEO Luigi Nadi, Daniel Gustafsson, and Dennis Rilorin to join us as organizers to help build the community. The next step was we were focused on finding partners. And for us, a key partnership was with Full Cafe. This is a local event organization that works with technology groups for meetups. And partnering with them was a strategic move. It gave us credibility, and it helps it helps give us a location for our events. So I highly recommend this approach, partnering with local tech spaces or even existing software groups to give your group a strong foundation and exposure. And finally, we created a meetup page with the Postgres logo and a description of who we are, so that we have a space to talk about this and connect with our people in our user group. So after securing a space and partners, we had to decide on topics. And we wanted to make sure that we were picking topics that were relevant for the Postgres community. So our very first talk, we decided that we would focus on an introduction to Postgres and its community and what people do, its history, which one of our organizers, Daniel Gustafsson, volunteered to give on the Postgres project. It's called the Postgres project, creating the most advanced database. The next thing is we had to promote the event to our local community. So some people already joined the meetup group, and they got the notification about the event. So we use multiple channels for this: social media, word of mouth, our personal networks to spread the word and get attendees excited about this. And the benefits of this is that we have double promotion on both sides, our side and Foo Cafe's side. So Foo Cafe also sent out newsletters to their own contacts and their own social networks. And our first event turned out to be a huge success, which today I'm still very proud of, and it was really unbelievable for us. We had more than 45 attendees, which is a lot for a relatively small city like Malmö. And since then, we had 2 more events, and the interest continues to be high. In our pipeline, we have 2 more speakers coming in, and we're always looking for speakers to join us. So we want to keep the community growing. The more voices we have, the better. So if you want to be a speaker and share your knowledge with us, or if you're passing through Copenhagen or Malmö, which is the south part of the Nordics, and you have some time, we'll be happy to have you. You can just reach out to us. As you know, a big part of growing any user group is bringing in great content and having a diverse group of speakers to keep the discussions fresh and engaging. So I think what's very important is you have a partner, and then as your group grows and matures, you can be more independent and right at the start. And now I want to give you a 5-step process on the things you need to think about when you're organizing your own event. So let's assume you already found your organizers and formed the group. And when you organize a Postgres user group, one of the first steps is to create the event page, to find the right platform for attendees, or if not an event page, then a channel. So it's essential to have a place where you can easily consolidate all the interested individuals and keep them informed about upcoming meetups. So platforms like Meetup and LinkedIn Group, I've noticed that they are really common and common choices. Some others you can consider are Eventbrite. It allows you to publish events, track attendance, and manage ticketing. And this is, I would say Eventbrite is mostly for larger scale events, Facebook events. It's a little personal, but the events are where I sometimes look for when I see for tech events. And this is good for reaching broader audiences and social sharing. And let's say if you have other Postgres friends, you can also, on your Facebook, you can also share the event with them directly. Then there's Slack and Discord. This was recommended by some people in our user group, because it has real-time communications and engagements, and then it's interactive. You can have communities members gather together and ask questions, and there's also Telegram, which I think some of the Postgres events are already using. So that one is really good for user group chats and keeping attendees updated on events. The next thing is to find a partner. So we were lucky to find Foo Cafe, but there are many other ways you can find partners for this group. So, to form your user group. So sometimes you can partner with companies that already have event spaces or are looking to support the community, or even co-work spaces, tech hubs, even local companies. So these are some names that might be familiar around Europe, and like in Germany or in other parts of France or other parts of Europe. where they will be very likely to want to collaborate with you on a meetup. So partnerships, they can benefit both sides, as I shared earlier. The hosting organization gives visibility, and after that, you can also get the space and resources to organize the event. You can also, and overall, you can reduce the cost and increase the impact of your event. So look for partners who share similar goals with you, of like fostering learning and networking. The second step is, once you create your space and start spreading the word, the next step is to plan your content and speakers. This will help to keep your community engaged and coming back for more. So Postgres covers a wide range of areas. It's important to look at topics that resonate with your audience. Look at what's trending, whether it's performance tuning, high availability, or like any new features. You can also ask the community, like, hey, what kind of topics would you want to see coming back again through a survey? Or sometimes you can also go online, see what people are talking about in forums or like in newsletters. The next one is to engage speakers as well. As you know, a great talk isn't just about the topic, it's about the speaker, their experience, how well-known they are in the community. So what you should do is have a mix of voices, the experienced ones, people who bring new perspectives, or people from diverse backgrounds. And of course, the preparation is crucial. You should encourage them to rehearse or structure their talks in an engaging way. Like, for example, I work in marketing and communications, so I like to help speakers with writing, presenting their talk in a clearer way, or like a more engaging way, to put it, because the right copy can attract the right people for your user group. And the last thing is the format. So user group meetups can take many forms: traditional talks, panels, live discussions, or even networking events. The key is to match the format to your audience and your goals. So once you plan your content and speakers, the next step is to make sure everything runs smoothly. And this is where the event logistics come in. So 3 things you need to think about: the venue, what kind of technology and tools you're using, and like food and socializing. So for in-person events, you should choose the right space. And what do I mean by the right space? Think about accessibility, size, location, as well as essentials like Wi-Fi, comfortable seating, and AV equipment, very much like the space we have here today. If you're hosting this virtually, the platforms like Zoom or Google Meet can help to create a more seamless experience. Just make sure they are reliable, no technical issues, easy to use for everyone. When it comes to technology and tools, I think it's important when you bring people together and they interact. So you can act not just with each other, but also with the presenter. So you can add interactive elements to make it more engaging. You can use some tools like Slido or Mentimeter, and these can help with live polls, Q&A sessions, and real-time discussions. And I would also say that recording the sessions is a great way to make content accessible to those who couldn't attend it live. And lastly, for in-person events, food is also super important. Yeah, so I would recommend the classic combination: pizza, drinks, and great conversation. So beyond the snacks, you also need to think about dietary preferences. Make sure that for example, make sure that there's halal options or vegetarian options or vegan options. And beyond the snacks, the real goal is to foster real connection and make sure that new attendees feel included and that everyone has the opportunity to network. I also wanted to cover some common challenges. So even organizing a Postgres meetup is really exciting, but it comes with sometimes last-minute issues might pop up. So for example, low attendance. Many people RSVP and don't show up. And this makes planning harder and it impacts engagement because nobody is actually paying for the tickets. And they are really like, oh, if I'm free, then I'll come down. Then there's speaker cancellation. A last-minute dropout can leave a big gap in an event schedule. And I wanted to share a case study later on something that happened a few days ago with us and how we managed to tackle the situation really effectively. Even when people attend, keeping them engaged is pretty tricky. So if the format is not interactive, attendees may lose interest. And the last thing is also finding sponsors and venues. It can be a struggle, especially for newer groups. So those are the challenges. Here are some ideas and some stuff I've seen from my previous experiences in organizing meetups and community events, like what I've seen work well and what can be experimented with. Some ideas to boost attendance, engagement, and sustainability. We haven't tested all of these yet with our user group, but it's some strategies I would love to explore to make our in the future and make our community grow stronger. So, for example, if you have low attendance, some things you can do before that is to send them teaser videos or reminders. You can have a waitlist system, and I'll talk more about this later. From an experience from another user group host. You can also give them some small perks, like give them very nice swag or give them exclusive contents. And this can help to build up a long-term commitment with the users. Well, if the speaker doesn't show up, some ideas are like, for example, show and tell lightning talk. So this is where you can tell attendees to go up for 3 to 5 minutes and share some Postgres tips, tools, or lessons. Another idea is the community spotlight talk. This is very similar to the Postgres Person of the Week, except it's in real life. So this is where you highlight Postgres users from the audience and their real experience. And to ensure flexibility, I guess one good way would be to have a virtual speaker as a backup to prevent, in case somebody can't make it, and then you can get the virtual speaker to go. So in terms of keeping engagement high, one thing is like a community fix live problem solving session, where attendees can bring Postgres challenges and we discuss solutions together, and breakout discussions also allows smaller focused conversations, and which, if the group is smaller, you feel safer to share and it's less intimidating. And for speed networking, you can help Postgres users connect in very short and unstructured conversations. And lastly, to make sure you have a stable pool of sponsorship and venues, like I shared, partnership is key. You can do things like offer to put your logo on your venue space, or another way is to get possibly a free venue is collaborate with universities or the companies of some user group, or working with vendors for co-sponsorship, and that can help to support future events. So after this talk, and if we see each other when we are networking, I would also love to hear from you guys, what kind of strategies you have tried to jazz up your meetup and what has worked best for you. This is a case study on something that happened a few days ago. At our latest session, we had a last-minute challenge. We were going to talk about cloud native and Kubernetes, and our speaker arrived at Malmö Central, and he felt really sick, and he had to call the ambulance, and we literally found out 10 minutes before the event started. The first thing you try in a situation like this, the first thing you should do, don't panic, because there's a solution. So instead of canceling and scrambling, we discussed, and we were like, okay, let's just me and the Foo Cafe. We decided to tell the audience the truth. Hey, this person was supposed to come, but he couldn't because an emergency happened. We asked them if anyone wanted to present, and we also gave them the option to leave. And to our surprise, people started saying, "Oh, I actually have this topic I want to talk about. I have a presentation on Kubernetes I did super long ago. Maybe I can say something." Yeah, the proactivity actually really surprised us. And in the end, there was a guy I think he's a DevOps engineer. He was like saying, he just told us that, I'm a Kubernetes expert and I can take the lead in answering any questions. So he just went up. Yeah, he's right here, and he took the lead to answer all the questions from the audience, and it turned out to be a really interactive discussion. Yeah, and this was a comment from one of our attendees. His name is Pavel. He was actually going to give a Kubernetes presentation a few weeks later, and he was telling me how, because of the discussion, he actually got new ideas about his presentation, and like he was very happy at how spontaneously this turned out. So this moment reinforced something very important for us. Community-driven events is not just one speaker. Sometimes the best conversation happens when we let the group guide the discussion. And the experience made me rethink how we can handle unexpected challenges in meetups. The fourth step, we talked about planning and logistics. And how do we actually know if the event was successful? So first, we track a couple of metrics. Attendance, how many people registered and how many showed up. Engagement, like were they participating actively? Post-event feedback, did they find the event valuable? And lastly, how can we improve based on previous meetups? And to go deeper, this is an evaluation that I know of, and I like to use it. It's called the Kirkpatrick's 4 levels of evaluation. You look at the reaction, learning, behavior, and the results of people. So did they enjoy the event? Like, we look at their feedback and overall satisfaction. Did they gain new knowledge? Pre-event and post-event assessments can help to measure this. The behavior, like, are they applying what they learn? Do they engage more with the community afterwards? And the results, what's the long-term impact of this? Are more people contributing to Postgres? Are companies adopting Postgres because of our events? So ultimately, measuring success can help us to continuously improve and ensure that each event is more valuable than the last. And lastly, so you have hosted a great event, and what's next? So the work doesn't stop after the event is completed, or when people walk out of the door. You need to maintain momentum, follow up with attendees through emails, social media or community platforms, like Slack, Discord, LinkedIn, email. You can share recordings with them, slides, and key insights to keep the conversation going. As you know, a single event is not enough to build a thriving community. So these are some things that people have shared, like, their slides. Some people, they actually talk about, like, they actually do a blog of the whole meetup and what they learn. That's by Andreas of the Postgres meetup group in Berlin. And this is a YouTube video that Full Cafe made of our very first talk at Malmö Postgres User Group. You can actually see on the website, and I'll play it really shortly here. So remember that you need to plan regular meetups, like every couple of months, not just one. I mean, even though the website says 1 every 2 years, we would really encourage you to do it a couple of times a year at least. Because if you see each other like once every 2 years, I don't think the connection's really there. This is just a really quick video of what Full Cafe made of our talk last time. This is an introduction given by us, and this is really good for people who RSVP and didn't attend, for example. Finally, I also spoke with some Postgres organizers on how we can enhance event planning, and they have very kindly shared some of their tips with us. Andreas Schierbaum, I hope I pronounced his name correctly, from the Berlin meetup, they tackled the challenge of no-shows by moving absentees to the end of the wait list when the space is tight. And he says that the simple change boosted their attendance from 30% to 70%. And he also goes the extra mile by capturing event photos, getting slides from speakers, and writing follow-up blog posts. Yeah, that's the screenshot you saw in the previous slide. Hari Kiran, he's from the Hyderabad Postgres User Group. He talked about the importance of direct outreach to speakers through networks like LinkedIn and local tech groups. And he also said that if you give them flexibility, in the session formats, like they are more likely to think about something that is engaging, whether it's talks, panels, interactive Q&As, and this can actually attract a wider audience. And Andrea Cuginello from the Barcelona Postgres User Group, he said that to expand his meetups, they also connected with related communities, such as Kubernetes and Cloud Native. And because when you do cross-promotion, other people in the other user groups, they might also use Postgres, and they might come to your user group. So this collaboration, it was key to growing their reach. And if I could summarize 3 takeaways for you before I end this. First, work with a partner and the right platforms to spread the word of your user group. The right partner with similar goals can open doors for you and provide you with marketing and logistics support. So use the platforms to announce your events and keep the momentum going. The next thing is to implement effective attendance strategies. You should keep an eye on registration and attendance. Adjust for any no-show patterns. You can use like wait lists, make sure so that all the spots are filled up, and remember to share all the event materials with them after that. And finally, to plan for sustainable growth, you can build a foundation with recurring events and maintain communications through newsletters or like Slack channels or Discord. And the most important thing is to foster a welcoming community that encourages continuous learning and collaboration. And by doing this, you can build a thriving, engaging community that continues to grow and thrive for years to come. Lastly, I want to leave you with this thought. So Postgres wouldn't be where we are today without its community. And every great event, contributor, and innovation starts with people stepping up. And I know it might sound like a lot of work, but in my experience, it's actually really fun and really rewarding. It's a chance to meet interesting people. I'm not a database administrator. I didn't study computer science or have a technical background, but I got to learn about Postgres topics, why it's just by meeting people and talking to people, connecting with speakers, and also most importantly, it's about giving back and helping others while growing your own skills at the same time. So I want to encourage you to think about how you can get involved in the community and how you will contribute. If your city doesn't have a Postgres user group, can you start one? If you attended events before, what's one way you can help them with the event, improve the events, or maybe you can volunteer with them? Or maybe you can offer to speak at an event, share your new ideas with your local Postgres groups. Because every small contribution from you can make a big impact. And at the end of the day, remember that this is not just about running events, it's about being part of something bigger, and the more we share, the stronger Postgres becomes. So thank you so much for your time and attention today, and I hope you found the session useful and you feel inspired to create your own Postgres events and meetups and contribute to the community. I think we only have like maybe 5 minutes left and before our coffee break, and I would love to open the floor to any questions you might have, whether it's about organizing events, the process we followed, or otherwise we can have a chat outside. Yeah.
Hello, thank you for the talk. Just wanted to share a feedback. I'm not organizing a meetup, but I've been to several of them in France, in Paris. And one tip that I've seen is to overcommit the number of seats of the place you are going to. If you have 20 seats, don't limit to 20 seats the meetup size. Otherwise, since you know that basically half of the people are coming, it's better to just oversize. It's very simple, but it already can increase the attendees rate.
Sorry, what did you mean by overcommit? Like, do you mean
if you have 20 seats, you say in meetup that you have 40 seats. It's very stupid.
Okay. Oh my God. Sometimes I haven't done this for the Malmö PostgreSQL User Group, but I've done it at previous events. That's a really excellent tip. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you for this speech. Postgres developer usually meets now a Postgres developer in Hackers mailing list. User meets user, I think, in Postgres User Group, PUG. But when I looking for feedback, I have only one source of information. It's Postgres performance mailing list. And when I observe it, it usually contains one email in average in a week. Maybe Postgres is ideal already and people don't have problems at all, only one issue in a week. But I wonder, people just shy, they just don't want to report negative feedback. So my question is, have you ever thought about format where developer can meet a user and get feedback, not only positive, but also negative one? Thank you.
Okay, so I guess your question is about how to create an event format where it is safe to give, like, for a user to give, like not so good feedback to a developer. Is that what your question is?
Discussion between users and developers, because when I see user format, it thinks like we talk in different languages, we use different alphabets, and we don't understand each other. So I guess maybe you have some insights on the format when we can communicate.
Okay. Well, for myself, like I would feel safe. When I think about like a big group, I would feel safe when the groups are smaller. And I think this was one of the things I shared earlier. Like if you have like maybe one-on-one session or like the speed networking session or the breakout session where it's just a few people, and then this is where it's a bit like like if it's one person, then you feel safer saying like, hey, like this isn't so great, like what do you think we can do about it, rather than like if it's a super big group. So that would be my solution to like the challenge that you posed. Yeah. Okay, one more question.
Thank you for your presentation. My name is Sebastian. I organize a meetup Postgres Paris. And the tips that I gave you, it's just don't take just a talk about engineering. Take one talk of engineering and the second of developer, because you have possibility to mix the developers and the DBA. And it's very important to communicate between.
Okay.
This is a very famous tips that I put in my meetups, and now it's very fine.
That's a good tip. I never thought about that, and yeah, thank you so much for sharing. If there's no other questions, then
I have a question.
Oh, sure.
So how do you find, he's suggesting to have developers, what are the developers community, and I'm talking about not Postgres developers, but application developers, Ruby, Python, what are those that are more willing to talk in Postgres events? Do you have any idea, so that you bring people not just from the Postgres community, but from outside, and how to find them, or make it more diverse, not just in the terms of gender diversity, but also in topic diversity?
Yeah, so I'm thinking about what the other user groups organizers have told me, because this event is focused on Postgres, but obviously a lot of us, like, we're interested in several different technologies, and like if I'm interested in Ruby, I'll go to another meetup or another event. So I would say like all this collaboration and cross-promotion is actually very beneficial. And you can say we have this, you can talk to the organizers of another event, say that we have this, like, would you be willing to share this with your participants? Maybe they might want to come, and we can do the same for you. Yeah, so this is a partnership. I guess this is what a partnership means. I did the same recently because we were talking about cloud and Kubernetes, and I actually know someone from the Azure Scholar group in Malmö, and I talk to him sometimes, and so I just shared it with him. I said, hey, like, we have this talk, like, would people from your from your group be interested to come over. And we actually got maybe 1 or 2 user groups who said that, oh, I've never been in this Postgres user group. I'm from the Azure group, and I decided to come over and see what this is about. And then after that, they joined our meetup group, and they told me like, oh, I really love the discussion here. Like, I'm gonna come back again. Yeah, I hope that addresses your question.
Yes, thank you.
Well, it's 10 o'clock, and yeah, thank you so much. And I would love to get to know all your talk next time. Thank you.